Hey, it's Joseph here. Today I am doing another comparison video between Canon M5 and M50. This is actually M5 here and I'm shooting on M50. In my last video where I did the general comparison into was well received, so I'll link in the description for you guys to follow if you're interested in seeing that video as well. And today I wanted to cover mainly for connectivity of these two cameras. So in my last video I have highlighted the fact that this camera M5 doesn't really connect so well with the PC, so I'll just kind of demonstrate, as well as how M50 connects to the computer really well. There are some functionality difference between Canon M5 and the M50 for your phone. So I have two phones right here for me to connect differently and show you what that is like. So hopefully you'll find it useful and I'll roll the intro. So first of all, let me try and show you what happens if I try to connect Canon M5 onto the computer. You have to have Canon EOS Utility installed, which is shown in the manual. You can go to Canon website. So I have installed that already, and what I need to do is actually take a USB connector like this one here and then open up one side of the camera. So one of the viewer in the comment on my last video have mentioned that Canon M5 has this jack for intervalometer here, whilst the M50 doesn't. And then I'm just going to connect micro USB onto this camera right here, and the other side will just go onto the PC. And then as soon as I connect and turn on the camera itself, this window will pop up and I have option to either download images to the computer or change camera settings. So I can just download the images onto the computer, I can mess with certain settings, or I can just select the pictures and start downloading. And there are a few pictures that I have taken, so I can just scroll through those things and start downloading as well. That this pops back on, I can change camera settings, which is mostly like registering lens or picture style file, and change owner's name. So it's not necessarily settings for taking pictures. With M5 and EOS Utility 3, which is the latest version that's available right now, you can see that there isn't a way to change ISO, aperture, or shutter speed and such things like that. I can just go ahead and quit to close that. However, I can also connect my Canon M50 onto PC itself as well, and I believe if I just connect right now, it is going to cut off my recording here, so bear with me for a second. And as you can see, it has popped up EOS Utility 3 again with EOS M50 registered. And you can see it has one more setting, which is remote shooting. So it was quite disappointing the fact that Canon M5 did not offer this feature. And I have found out on the manual of EOS Utility 3 that M5 is not compatible with the remote shooting feature. So let me just show you what remote shooting is like. If I click on that one, you will see that my window for changing all the shutter speed and aperture for the camera is all here, and I can change ISO as well. And I can also go through a couple of other features such as autofocus, manual focus, and there are some other features available along with exposure dials. So you can change a lot of camera settings within here, as well as I can just click on live view shoot. And once I do that, it will pop up the recording for myself. So there might be slight delay in the picture itself. I can just kind of maximize the screen so you guys can see better. So basically there will be slight delays in the picture, but it won't be any significant amount. So please keep that in mind. So what I usually do is I just have all of these functions available at me, and I can see my voice level. I can monitor all of these on my computer, as well as I can just shoot the video by clicking here. So the video will start shooting, so you can actually see me in actual quality. So you'll see that rather than reaching out for the camera itself, I can just adjust all of those settings on my computer, and I can see myself much bigger picture, so I can gauge my color and my focusing. However, all of those feature was not available for M5, so that was my biggest win for jumping onto Canon M50. So next feature that I want to compare into is actually the connectivity between between the camera itself and a smartphone. So I actually have two Samsung phones available. They are both Android. So one is my smartphone that I use daily, which will be connected to M50, but this one is a phone that I don't use anymore. However, the functionality is exactly the same. I just wanted to connect both of them at the same time for you guys to see. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you how I connect these two so that you are aware of the connection process. So first of all, I will have to turn on the camera as well as the phone. And on the camera itself, I'm gonna have to go down to menu, and inside of the menu here, I'm just gonna look through the settings so I can find the wireless settings. And on this setting here, you'll see the wireless connection that's available for your camera, and inside of wireless settings there will be Bluetooth. And if I haven't connected anything, there will be pairing mode that's available for the camera itself. And I'm just gonna start pairing, and it's gonna say pairing in progress. So inside of my phone here, I'll have to start recording the screen itself too, and I can go ahead and click on this app that is right here, and I'll show you what that app is like. It's called Camera Connect from Canon itself. So I can go back out and just launch that app, and I'll have to read through these things and agree. And once I have this here, I can just click on this one right here and then scan. And once I scan, I can see Canon M5. So I click on that one, and it is going to say connected to camera, and to the camera itself, it will show that it has been connected to my phone. So I can just click OK on my camera, and it's gonna say connecting, and it is paired. Now all the menu will be activated. And with this camera pointed to myself, and then I can actually go to Bluetooth remote controller, and then I can just shoot away. So you see it has triggered my camera, so I'm just gonna shoot away again, smile. So there you go. Or I can even go to the movie mode so I can start recording myself. So the camera is gonna start recording myself, and you can see that on my camera there. So they are both being recorded at the moment. And stop that. As well as I can just go to viewing mode, and my phone is going to start showing me all the dials available, so I can just look through my pictures or videos that I have taken so far. So I can just change that without even looking at it, which is great. And if I actually want more, I can go back to the menu, and then it's gonna have a lot more than just Bluetooth. So I can either download images from the camera via Wi-Fi, and then I can also do remote live view shooting. And this one was particularly interesting for me. So what it will do is it will switch from Bluetooth to Wi-Fi so that it is connected directly to the camera. So your phone will actually lose Wi-Fi connection, but at least it will be a lot faster connection for it to exchange the video. So I have propped the camera up so you can see that it is focusing on my face. However, even in aperture priority mode, that everything is overexposed, it is not due to my exposure settings. I can perhaps bring that down so that it is much darker. However, you can see that it is quite struggling to show me the accurate image. So if I go back to 0 right here, and I have seen a lot of discrepancy between regular aperture priority mode. So the camera seems to kind of struggle with the exposure setting and showing you accurate images, as well as just the delay on itself. So if I go snap, so there is quite a delay as far as what it shows on my screen. So I just wanted to mention that there are a few settings that are available to change here, but the amount is quite limited. So if I were to just shoot, I can just click on this shutter button here, and then it will be taking picture of me. And then perhaps reduce the exposure and then take a picture there. So that is looking much better, at least. And even after I touch it, it is also taking picture much later. So it's not really accurate, or it's quite a delayed experience. And also, if I just change the mode here, I am now in program mode. So it should be in program, but you can see that it is still showing as aperture priority mode. If I were to go back screen 1 and click on this remote live view shooting again, you can see now it changed to program mode. So even changing the mode in between, it is not really streamlined here. And you can see it is fairly limited experience with Canon Connect app that's available on the store. I don't know how the experience is exactly on iPhones, however, that has been my experience on Android. And in comparison, let me just jump onto Canon M50 experience. Okay, so this one is gonna be with my daily phone as well as Canon M50 is again Android, and I can click on Camera Connect, and I'm gonna have to agree on this as well. It is probably going to prevent me connecting here because one, it is actually recording already on this camera as well as it is connected to computer. So let me just go ahead and stop the recording on the camera and also disconnect computer. So as soon as I have disconnected the computer, actually it just popped up here, so you can see all the options available. So first of all, let me go ahead into Bluetooth mode so you can see what that is like in there. So it is showing it is already being recorded, which is expected to do. So it is basically the same what you were seeing in Canon M5. So I'm just gonna go back one page up and let me go ahead and do remote live view shooting. I don't know if this is gonna stop my recording, but I'm just gonna do it anyways. So bear with me here for a second whilst there's no recording of myself here. However, you can see my screen and there you go, it popped up. I'm gonna start recording myself there. So my camera will start shooting again and then you can see myself. And there is somewhat delay, and I am actually seeing much smoother experience. And I don't know if you can tell as well, but at least in my opinion, I see that in my movement as well as just talking in general is much more fluid there than what it was in Canon M5. Maybe it is just faster speed of connection. Exposure is consistent. That's exactly what I had been seeing. And I can see the interface is all different as well. So if I actually stop this recording, and you'll see that all of these menus at the bottom available to change, whilst those things were not available to change on Canon M5. So you can see the audio level and all of these menus that I can actually change to different settings. And it's great that I have all of these things available and I can click on wherever I want to focus. Let me actually change the dial and see if that does anything. So there you go, I have changed to aperture priority mode and it changed on the live view as well. So I can shoot away and you can see the entire experience is a bit more fluent. So I'm gonna start recording again. So even whilst recording, I can see myself and change a few options. And I feel there's just generally more functionality available via Canon M50. And it is probably because it is a later iteration of a camera, so more technology is involved in that. So I'm gonna continue to use this functionality on my phone as well as my camera. So that was a lot of juggling between all of these cameras and the phones and the computer. Hopefully that I'm able to put all of these videos together, and if you have enjoyed the content, please like it and subscribe to my channel if you want to continue watching these type of videos. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.